Okay, video 176. Today is Saturday. Saturday, very early. We're not doing memes today. We're doing DEKTEN stuff, and we need to not panic and figure out how to get productive. We need to get productive enough to where, like, every week or every day we're adding something new on Etsy. And I'm thinking if we can try to figure out how to make some panels that can be used in our table design, and those panels can also be used to make like a nightlight or something, then we can kind of kill two birds with one stone. We can have some reuse of what we're making, right? So there's interchangeable parts, but there's also like interchangeable parts where you take one part and there's another part and it's identical. But there's also like mix matching parts where like you can take different parts and use them for different things. And we really need to leverage our ability to do something like that because we're on a really tight budget, and I don't know if this is gonna work out. But I gotta keep on trucking away here and trying to figure stuff out. So let's open this up and let's just get to work. So we're going to go into our R drive. We're going to go into our utility patents folder. So I don't know exactly where that is. Let's go UPAT folder. And instead of models, we're going to create another thing called B for bases. B for bases. Will this last, or this is just going to confuse us? I don't know. Whatever. We'll figure it out. But let's make a new text document. B for bases. Okay, and bases are going to be kind of like models, except they're going to be meant to be used with artwork. Bases are blank physical designs meant to be mixed and matched with artwork from the A folder to create final cutting plans. Yeah, so something like that. Variables like 1 inch should not be hard coded into these files. Okay, so we're going to try a different style of writing our code to create these bases and not do things the way we've been doing them. We'll keep some similarities to how we usually write our code for OpenSCAD, but we're going to do things slightly differently so that we can try to create some things that we can reuse and mass produce and add variation to them in a flexible way. So with that said, I'm just going to get to work here. I'm just going to turn on some music and just try to get to work. Yeah?
I forgot to tell you.
Huh.
I got somebody coming tomorrow morning
Mm-hmm.
to move that stuff,
Okay.
take it away.
Mhm.
So, I'm sorry, I should have told you before. So, can you make sure that they have as big of a path as they can have?
Okay.
And, yeah, and you'll have some more room back there.
Okay.
Sorry I forgot to tell you.
Alright.
It might be as soon as 8 o'clock.
Okay.
So, before you fall asleep or whatever.
Okay. I don't know. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing. I feel like kind of hopeless here. Maybe focus on smaller things? I don't know what to do here. Like, I'm thinking here, and, like, this is a lot of wood. Okay, so the problem with this is a lot of wood, right? And all these cross-sections that are stacked on top of each other, they, the wood is slightly different thicknesses, right? So, as you start to, the rounding errors from this thickness of wood, this thickness of the wood, this thickness of wood, and this thickness of wood, they're all going to add up. They're all going to stack, right? And so you're going to get these wildly different thicknesses of panels depending on what slabs of plywood you took them from. So this design also is just a lot of cutting. Like, look at all the surface area here, right? We got all these different layers. We got to glue them all together. So then this kind of design where we have two slabs, we don't have too much problems from the tolerance stacking. And the idea is we have these two slabs of plywood that are glued together. So this is like a side view here, right? And we have these two slabs glued together. And then on the frame, right? So this FR for frame is like, you know, these pieces here, right? It's like, we have this, like, wood cross-section here. It snaps onto the frame, and then the panels bolt in from there, right? So that's kind of complicated. And the other problem is, while it solves the problem with, you know, not having too much wood, it means the panel, this panel here, is going to start further away from the frame, which means the design that uses only a very specific length of bolt, that's no longer going to work. Which means that we'll have an inventory problem where we don't want more and more different kinds of parts, right? So this design seems pretty elegant until we have to think about those bolts that are kind of sticking out. Or we could just make standard inset panels, and then we could just put a glass panel on top of it and call it a day, right? We could do that. And that could also work. Or, what we could do is we could do an epoxy pour. We could try to do an epoxy pour to get a unibody kind of tabletop going here, right? And then for that tabletop, we can just we could do an epoxy pour, and then we could just drill holes in the bottom of the table where there needs to be clearance for these bolts, and we can also, like, do locator pins for it. I think that could actually work, right? And then if we want to make the table kind of glow, we can, since we're going to make this out of semi-transparent, you know, acrylic, you know, we can put some lights within the actual frame, and then maybe the lights from the frame will glow up into the tabletop, right? That could be a thing, right? Or we could put, like, little lights here, right? Alternatively, we could figure out some type of rigging system to, like, after this is all put together, we could figure out how to rig in some type of suspended light right here, right? Or maybe we don't want to worry about the light issue first. Maybe we just want to worry on making a solid kind of epoxy tabletop, right? So it seems to me like what I think is a lowest risk option, trying to make some type of generic panel. Trying to make some type of generic panel that can be used in the tabletop and then also used as other products. I don't know if that's quite going to work. So So the time right here. Yeah, so I think maybe we need to just go big or go home. Trying to make small individual panels seems like a lot of extra cutting time, and then there's a lot of extra complications, which I mentioned earlier in the video, right? But we have the tolerance stacking complication from kind of this design where we kind of like stack a whole bunch of panels, right? So these two panels are for bolt hole clearance, right? So the bolts that are sticking off of here, we need a safe amount of clearance so that we can bore into this material here, and this panel can lay flat even though there's these bolts sticking out of the frame, right? And then after we have bored through all this material, we have this layer that has only fabrication holes, and then we have this layer that is wood, and it's used to make some type of pattern that we can then pour epoxy into, right? So it can be an epoxy wood pattern, and then all these layers here would be acrylic, right? So if this is a 1/4 inch design, each one of these layers is 1/4, then what we're talking about here is 2 sheets of material, 2 sheets of material, 2 sheets, 2 sheets, and 1 sheet of wood. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like 8 sheets of acrylic, 1 sheet of wood. That's gonna get pretty... Yeah, that's just gonna take a lot of cutting time. It's gonna take a problem. So let's just mark these layers here. Let's mark these layers and denote what's the problem with this thing, and what do we want to do about it. So yeah, problems L1 to L4 requires 8 layers of 1/8 thick acrylic sheet to be cut, right? Problem, only the L1 so that's a problem. What other problems we got here? Problem. Yeah, lots of problem. Yeah, so it just seems like a waste of materials, and if we're gonna do this, it just seems like maybe doing like an epoxy pour might make more sense, right? So if we do an epoxy pour, we can just make a very thin kind of tabletop, and we can put it on here, right? And I think maybe, you know, this is a really fancy kind of frame. I think maybe we want to highlight the intricacies of the frame, right? So, otherwise it's like, why do you go through the effort of making that frame, right? So this crazy design over here, the problems here is, problem. Panel created by layer A and layer B sits further away from frame than good. Yeah, so this is kind of what I'm thinking, and so it's like, you know, the fastest code is the code you don't write, right? The fastest code is the code you don't write. So it's like, you know, I did set myself up to say, hey, let me go write some code for this. But now that I'm thinking of it, this proposal that I could code up, don't think it's gonna work out. This thing, which I've already coded up one of these, I already have a thing that is already coded up something like this diagram in where is that? So if we want to go find that, it was called Caffeine Tabletop, right? So in Caffeine Table... Oh, that's not what I meant. I didn't mean to open that one. But in Caffeine Tabletop... Close this. In here we have a design idea for that. For how that would work, right? So we have these different panels, right? And, right, we can do these cross-sections, and that all looks really good. It all looks like, when I look at this, I'm like, oh, woohoo, that'll work. But the chances are that this is going to be completely level, right? All this stuff is going to magically fit together perfectly. Even if it's on the laser cutter, the different thicknesses are going to create some problems for me. And it's just a lot of wood to cut. And it's like, after that, we got little holes we got to fill in, right? We got the little fabrication holes we'll have to then fill in. But it does look like... it does look like something that's, like, possible to do. But I'm thinking... a unibody top makes more sense, right? To just make like a big epoxy pour of a gigantic slab, right? And then this whole problem here, right? We can just put all these little cheese holes into the bottom of the frame so that the frame doesn't collide with those bolts, right? And then it's good. You just set it there, and you just set it on the frame, and it's done. It's where it needs to be. And with all these kind of bolts, just sitting there, they actually really would help to properly. It would help to properly locate the frame, right? And so, okay, the question is, if we do that, how thick do we have to make it? And I was thinking, hey, if I go through my notes, I was thinking a 2-inch, 3-inch tabletop was the way to go. I think I initially decided on 2 inches. So if I go look for epoxy in my notes, I have some notes on the other screen. So I'm thinking a 2-inch thick table. And then I'm thinking, okay, a 2-inch thick table, and we need like a 1/4 inch on every side for when we're milling it down, right? And the cool thing is with the pattern, right? I could put a pattern into the table, right? After I'm done, right? So I could epoxy pour it with something that's like mostly clear, and then I could mill into here and then do another epoxy pour with a different color, and I could get something kind of interesting there. And the thing is, okay, yeah, that's a lot of work though. And then what if you put all this effort to make this big product and nobody buys it, right? And you've dumped a whole bunch of money into this one thing. So there's that. So what I'm thinking is, right? So what I'm thinking is, we have an epoxy pour. Right? We do an epoxy pour of a table. And when we're thinking of the layers, right, we're thinking a 2-inch thick table. So, right, so we're thinking a 2-inch thick table. So we can say right here that this is 2 inches, right? That wasn't the best way to do this, but let's just keep going here. So 2 inches. This is 2 inches. Right here, 2 inches. And that's not correct. Let's put this over here. Okay, so we epoxy pour this. We mill it down, we get 2 inches. And then in here we have to make these bores, right? So the bores for making sure that we have clearance with those bolts. We're thinking, you know what? Just, you know, make them at least a 1/2 inch deep, or actually make them. Is this 2 inches? Oh, if this is 2 inches, then I'm thinking in quarter. I guess each one of these is a half inch. So I'm thinking, you know, we bore in like this, right? So this is actually, each one of these layers that I've diagrammed out is actually a 1/2 inch. But yeah, we bore in about this far. Because, right, we have up here, this right here is 2 1/4 thick inch layers. That's what they represent, so. Right, so this is 1/4 thick. And then over here is 1/4 thick, and here is 1/4 thick, right? This is all 1/4 thick in the diagram, right? And so we have 2 1/4 thick layers for the bolt clearance. So that means here in the epoxy table, right, we're going to bore in a 1/2 inch. And we bore in a whole bunch of places, right? So it's effectively, the tabletop would effectively just be this gigantic epoxy slab. And then we just bore into like a ridiculous number of places, so that we can just set the table. We can just set the table down, and it'll be in place because it has so many different. It just has a very sturdy frame, kind of like helping it out, you know. So then we wouldn't need. So these pieces here were for the individual panels to help bolt them in, and these panels inset into the frame. So we wouldn't even do that, right? Because then we have all this weird topology, and we have a lot of milling to do. Because, right, all this negative space here, if we're going to mill it out of the big block of epoxy, that's a lot of milling to do. So we would forget about these little colored squares here, and we just keep the burnt orange layer, right? And yeah, so we just do an epoxy pour, and then after we get our nice epoxy slab, we start drilling in here, right? Now, if we want to save money, with this epoxy pour, then we have to find some type of filler material. That could be like wood, right? Like, with the tables you see. With the tables you see, they are, they have like, they're not 100% epoxy, right? They're like epoxy table Etsy. Like, if you look at the epoxy tables, they're like epoxy pours mixed with wood, right? So the epoxy really isn't most of the material, right? The epoxy is like the most expensive stuff from the calculations I've been doing. So to get it also in epoxy, to get a lot of like wood in there, can make it a little bit easier to do, right? In terms of the price point. And then it's like, will anyone want this kind of weird Lego-ish table design that I have made anyways? Like, will anyone want that? I don't know. So it's like, if we make this slab, then maybe what we can do is we can, we make the slab, and then maybe we need to figure out how to just weld like a cubic kind of frame, right? Weld a cubic frame, and then just call it a day, right? But then that means we need to learn to weld, we need to get some bar stock, and we need to get on it, right? So I don't know. A lot of thoughts. Right, this is pretty cool. So I think it's, you know, it's, to get this kind of quality, I think I'm a long way away from being able to do something like this. And I don't know if I'm just going to crash burn and run out of money soon and, not have anyone, like, buy the acrylic I have. So I don't know if that's going to work. I need to ship that. Yeah, so I don't know. We could keep on lowering the price of this and just see if someone bites, or if it's just like see if someone bites, or if we cannot get it to a price point at which it is affordable to ship. So I don't know. We can keep trying. But I don't know. We can keep trying to lower the price, like maybe by $1 every day, and then just see if it's just like, there could just be the possibility that it doesn't matter, right? That it's a visibility issue, you know, where you know, if we lowered it, is there a price low enough to where someone would buy this, or is it a lost cause? I don't know. So one of the strategies here is that, you know, we have all this material, let's try to liquidate it, and maybe make a profit if we're lucky. So I don't know. We gotta think about it. But I'm leaning towards an epoxy slab, and for now, I think what I can do is I bought some more wood, so I'm thinking, okay, I'll take the wood that I have, and I'll start cutting it. Making an epoxy slab seems the best option. Yeah. And it costs $100 like every month at the shop. So every month that I don't make something, I'm losing $100, and then also bank fees as well. So I don't know. It's a lot of stuff to think about. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. But I gotta figure something out. So, I guess the other thing is I just gotta throw out anything that I have that I can produce. I should probably put it up on Etsy. So, so we should probably do that right now, right? Rather than being self-loathing, let's put up the one other thing that we actually do have that we can, that maybe it'll get a bite, right? So let's let's go into yeah, let's go look for that. So let's go into our, I have no clue where it is, but I think it's in our E drive. Let's go to our E drive really quick. And we have a folder for Amazon. And products, acrylic sheet. We got this stack here. And I think these are my 7 pictures I decided to go with. So if we look at these, alright, we took the time to make all this product photography and whatnot. It actually looks pretty badass, right? Like, it's a pretty badass crate, right? I think if we're not selling anything, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like, I like to protect my designs. This design is kind of derivative from the patents that I already have. But I would like to try to make a patent for this specific design as well. But right now, I'm thinking, we gotta get something out there, right? And this looks pretty good, right? This is a pretty good looking image, right? So we might want to just throw all these out there, and just right, just throw it out there. Alright, so we have black. It's black acrylic, right? It's like, forgot how many sheets this holds. I think there's a lot of sheets in here. I think it's like 33 sheets. Something like that. I don't even know. It would be nice if I actually made a, you think I would have explained, you know, explained or left notes for myself about, like, what's in here. But I didn't, so, oh well. So, what we're gonna do is, I guess, we could look at the photo and count every single sheet. But I believe it's like 33 sheets, so why don't we just look at, let's just painstakingly count it from the photo, right? So in one of these photos, we should be able to see the individual sheets. And from there, we should be able to... So the idea was that if we sell the individual... Right, if you buy a whole bunch of acrylic and now you don't have a place to put it because it's all like loose, it came in some crappy packaging. So the idea was that, you know, we could put it in some nice packaging like this, and then we have some type of way to differentiate ourselves from some other people. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. Okay, 27, the little gap. 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. Oh, it's 36. My bad. 36 does sound like the correct number. Okay, so what we're gonna do is let's just throw this up on Etsy, right? Let's throw this up on. Let's stop self-loathing and just keep on fighting, right? Try to make some strides here. So we're gonna go into our account. And we need to like add a listing for this, and then we'll go on Pinterest and we'll try to like we'll go on Pinterest and we'll also link it there as well. So let's do add a listing and just start adding photos. Now I have no clue where this is going to go when I add a photo, so I'm going to put this on the other screen until I know it's going to a safe place. Okay, that's a safe place. Okay, so let's go put this over here. Let's go add a photo, and let's go find our 7 pics that we're going to use for Amazon. But Amazon kind of screwed us over because it's like, oh, what? I bought these expensive like barcodes for like $250 because they want you to official barcodes, and then they don't let you use them on Amazon because they're like, oh, oh wait, that's not a brand I've heard of, right? So they don't even let you use your own barcodes. They're like, because you have to put yourself in the brand registry, but to put yourself in the brand registry, you have to have a trademark, right? Guess what? To get a trademark, you have to actually sell stuff. So there's like this cyclical thing where to sell on Amazon, you gotta have a trademark, right? But to get a trademark, you have to sell, right? So, what I think is that at one point in time, it was really easy to sell stuff on Amazon, and as time has gone by, if you weren't like an early adopter, right? If you weren't an early adopter, then you are, it's harder for you, right? So if you got in early, you're good, but if you're trying to get in later like I am, then it's going to be a much harder struggle. Like, I know somebody who's selling on Amazon, and they're just using like crappy, like, you know, old school, they're buying like things from crazybarcodes.com. Those don't work anymore, but they got in early enough to where they could just use them and their account isn't being checked or whatever, or I don't know. So Amazon just makes it a lot harder to sell stuff, right? So now there's probably more profit potential. So like if you can figure out how to get in, then do it. But anyways, let's find a good kind of like product photo here that, you know, is like, ooh, something that is... So we have all these photos. I'm going to say that this one looks the most badass, where it's like, oh, hey, that's cool, right? Right, we got all these bolts, and we can see some of the material right there. It looks good, right? So let's take that, and we'll put that as the first photo, right? And then we'll just add some of the other photos, and these should be nice big photos where there are enough pixels where Etsy isn't going to complain, because these photos were actually made for Amazon originally. And I was thinking that, you know, I didn't want to actually sell this product. I just want to focus on one simpler product and not focus on all these other things that I can make. But now, I was looking at some videos on like how to sell on Etsy, how to like get sales, right? And one of the big deals was, hey, the more products you have, the more there's more ways that people can find your shop, right? So, but that kind of sucks because like you have an inventory management problem, right? The more products you sell, the more inventory space you need, right? But the more products you sell, the more people who can find you. So since this is a pretty cool thing, I haven't seen anyone do something like this before, we're gonna We're gonna throw it on here, hope nobody copies us, or, I mean, Etsy is notorious for copying, but we're gonna hope that, by the time someone copies us, we're already making good money, right? That's what we're gonna hope for, right? I don't know, but we'll see. So we're just gonna upload all these 36 sheets of black acrylic, 10 by 10 by 10, and we will sell it for, I don't know, it's like, it's a pretty nice case. So, assuming this takes me, like, a whole day to make, no joke, because, a whole day to, like, cut all this material, with the amount of shop time I have, I'm thinking, we put it at, like, $75, right? 80, anything above 80 is usually a bit high, from, like, Amazon statistics that I was watching from some videos. I know this isn't Amazon, but we should probably keep to the same kind of principles. So let's upload this PNG as well. And then there was another photo we were kind of like counting the acrylic from. And I don't actually see it in here, but we might want to add that photo. See, that looks badass, right? That looks awesome. So we're just gonna upload photos. Our internet connection sucks. We need to get an Ethernet cord. We can't get viewers when our stream quality just sucks. Like, just a whole bunch of BS that I'm dealing with. So this is, yeah, let's just take them all. We're gonna keep on adding photos. We should have 7 photos total. I kind of like did it in a random order. Hell, you know what? For $75 with all this acrylic, $75 is a pretty good deal, right? So 36 sheets, right? 30, 30, 60, right? It's like $2 a sheet. Roughly $2 a sheet if we do $75. So let's just do this. Let's just roll with it. And I think it's a pretty unique design, right? It's basically, it fits within a shipping box, so I can ship it. And it's a nice, sturdy, reusable box, so if you have a whole bunch of crafts that you want to do, you can you don't have to worry about having a whole bunch of loose material all over the place, right? So, we're gonna try to roll with that, and you know, like, I'm worried that somebody's gonna copy me, right, or whatnot. But you know, if I can't even sell anything if I can't even sell anything and make any money, then it doesn't matter. Why are you gonna worry about getting money for patents and stuff if you can't even sell anything and make any money? So this should be the last one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this will be the 7th. So I know this doesn't actually show the material, right? It's just like a big crate, so it's like, what the heck? But the idea is that, the idea behind this is that, I don't know, it differentiates the product, right? Where someone's looking for this acrylic sheet, they see this box and they're like, whoa, what the heck is that, right? And that can get us some attention. So we're gonna roll with that, because we already have one of these made, right? It's sitting somewhere in one of these boxes somewhere in my inventory. So what do we got here? DEKTEN black stack. 36 10 by 10 sheets. Plexiglass. Laser cuttable. Laser cuttable plexiglass, right? So the idea is that, now it's weird because like any plexiglass is laser cuttable, but when you want to know, when you're trying to when you don't know anything about the material, right? You're a plexiglass novice. You have no clue what its properties are, but you want to use it for laser cutting. Then it's kind of important that I say it's laser cuttable plexiglass, right? So 36. Is it a finished product or is it a supplier tool to make things? It's actually kind of both, right? Category. There are other colors, but let's not worry about the other colors right now. Let's do Henry Ford and say you can have any color you want as long as it's black. Manual, because we don't want to go into debt from having listings. We'll do manual. We'll do manual, right? And then what we're going to do is, no, let's do manual. All right, and then we'll do manual. What we'll do manual, right? Because we don't want people having automatic access to our wallet, basically, right? And then what we'll do is we'll have two. And the idea is that we're going to assume that, people aren't going to flood us with orders, right? That if somebody orders, we can manually renew it within time before we run out of stock, right? As long as we have two in stock at all times. So 36 sheets of 10 by 10 transparent black plexiglass. Perfect for laser cutting projects and comes in an ultra heavy duty reusable crate. So you don't have to worry about where to put all of this material once it arrives at your doorstep. Okay, 36 sheets of 10 by 10 transparent black plexiglass, perfect for laser cutting projects, and comes in an ultra heavy duty reusable crate, so you don't have to worry about where to put all this material once it arrives at your doorstep. I also can prepare crates of clear and blue on request. Just email me personal email. So what's the Proton Mail email? Yeah, so we have a lot of work that we've done a lot of work. We've done a lot of groundwork. We've made a light box, and then we kind of like, I think my old cross-country coach would say it's kind of like, you know, you worked really hard to like make it in like first or second place in like a 3-mile race, and then you just give up at the end. I feel like I've kind of done a little bit of that, but it's never too late to try to salvage what we've already kind of done. So I guess, yeah, I don't have this Proton Mail email as a shortcut. Proton Mail email. Etsy DEKTEN email. Or DEKTEN Etsy email, or okay, so I just want to make a note of what my email address is for Etsy. I'm going to make absolutely sure I get it 100% correct, because I set this email up specifically for Etsy. So it's not my primary email, it's my email specifically for Etsy, so if it's not related to Etsy, then it doesn't belong in this email account. But the thing is because it's for Etsy only and I'm not experienced on Etsy, I don't have it completely committed to memory yet. So I'm gonna put this off screen, and I'm gonna use the email address that I think it is. Use the password I think it is, make sure I can log in. And the email address is what I thought it was. New ideas for you. Pinterest. We're going to unsubscribe from Pinterest because I do not want to be... I do not want to have... Okay, my email notifications. Oh, interesting. No. Jesus Christ, like... No. Turn off all. Bam. Thank you. Okay. What is it? What do they say? Your inbox is just a place for other people's priorities. So... try not to make your inbox a place for other people's priorities. I mean, there's a lot of random self-help BS on the internet, but I'd say that's one piece of good advice. that I actually take to heart, right? You know, like, you can consume self-help like it's junk food, right? Mental junk food. But sometimes, once in a while, you hear something that's actually kind of a good idea. And that is a good idea. So, we know it should be just DEKTEN. Okay, so DEKTEN at protonmail.com. Okay, so I'm just really paranoid because we got to make sure that that is correct. So 36 sheets of 10 by 10 transparent black plexiglass. Okay, so there we go. It's a physical thing. I'll do manually renew. Section, I don't know what section is. We got fabrication. Let's just put this in fabrication. All my things are fabrication supplies, so that's how we'll roll with that. And tags, plexiglass. Right. Add acrylic sheet, plexiglass, laserable plexiglass, I don't think we can do 1/8 thick, can we? No. Well, all plexiglass has a protective layer. I don't know if that actually... oh, but actually in the description we should probably say that. All sheets come with protective backing on both sides. For best results, cut on the laser cutter with the backing still attached. Smoke particles or smoke from the laser cutting process can tarnish the surface of your material if you cut without all sheets have protective backing on both sides. For best results, cut on the laser cutter with the backing still attached. Particles or smoke from the laser cutting process can tarnish the surface of your material if you cut without the protective coating on. For the most precise cuts, I recommend multiple passes at high speed and high power. If find 6 passes at 80% speed and 100% power. Work out great. Work out great. Material. Okay. So 36 sheets of 10 by 10 transparent black plexiglass, perfect for laser cutting projects, and comes in an ultra heavy duty reusable crate, so you don't have to worry about where to put all of this material once it arrives at your doorstep. All sheets have a protective backing on both sides for best results. Cut on the laser cutter with the backing still attached. Particles or smoke from the laser cutting process can tarnish the surface of your material if you cut without the protective coating on. For the most precise cuts, I find 6 passes at 80% speed and 100% power work out great. I've been cutting this material for 5+ years and experimented with many different methods. I also can prepare crates of clear or transparent blue on request. Just message me or message the shop. Okay. Also, I write mentioning okay. Let's just add that as a keyword, right? I don't know if it makes sense to have laser cutter and then laser cutter. I don't know if that actually affects things. Square. Sheets. Bulk sheets. I don't know. Oh. Color, style, function, right? Well, I guess black. Function. Crafting. Which kind of seems like something everybody puts, but why not? Crafting, what do you call it? DUI, do it yourself, DIY, do it yourself. And then, I don't know. I don't know, I'm just taking an Amazon category I commonly find this material in. I have no clue. Okay, I'll go with that, yeah? Bam! Okay. Materials. Plexiglass. It's black plexiglass. Acrylic. One material. It includes black plexiglass and reusable crate. Okay. Inventory and pricing. So, I'm thinking... $75. So okay, so we're thinking it has, if we're rounding the other product I have, right? I'm trying to sell that for like $25, and it has 9 sheets, but actually usually we'll have 10 sheets because I'll have like one scrap sheet for people. But I'm not telling people that, right? Because I'd like them to be kind of surprised and get more than they thought they ordered, rather than, right? Getting more than you expect is a good thing, right? So I decided not to advertise that. But yeah, most of the times, and then if I forget about it, then I'm not liable, right? It's like just an extra thing that you get, right? Then I'm going to try to always give people that extra stuff, but I'm not going to put it in the description, right? So it's a nice, pleasant surprise. So, okay, that thing I'm selling, well, that's like, 10 sheets roughly, right? 3, and 3, that's 9. Let's just round it up, 10 sheets. $25. So if we're gonna sell something that has 36, well, okay, 36. We want a little bulk discount, right? So, let's just take those 3 packs, and 3 packs of 10 would cost you $75, right? So let's charge $75, right? And that would be, if you bought those individual smaller things, it would cost you $75, and you'd only get like 27 sheets, right? But instead of getting 27 sheets, you're getting 36 sheets, right? So that way, when people are comparing things, it seems like it makes sense, right? And so the next thing we're gonna do is, yeah, we're just gonna say $75. And then we'll just kind of like drop it by $1 every day until we get a bite, I guess. That's what we'll do. And we might end up having to sell for lower than what we think it's worth. But we're at the point where we need to start selling this material. We need to start liquidating it somehow. Because if we can't get any income, then we can't afford to go to the shop. If we can't afford to go to the shop, we can't afford to cut material. And if we can't cut material, we can't sell material. So we need to get this machine running. The quantity I have is technically I got I got 2. It takes a long time to make these, so let's just say 2, right? So we'll just try to keep the quantity of everything at 2, and then we'll figure that out later. If yeah, we can figure that out later, right? So if your quantity agrees greater than 1, this listing will renew automatically until it sells out. Oh, got it. So 2 things. Okay, so I am correct about this math, right? So it's like for every listing, for every time you sell, Etsy basically takes a 20-cent commission. Let's just do the basic shipping because it's over $35, and I said that on Etsy that I agree to free shipping if it's over 35. So if we use the 1 business day processing time, that should be fine. And then, oh god, item weight. I have no clue how much this thing weighs. In terms of length, width, and inches, when packed, it's like, it's 12 by 12 by 5.5. I know that. I have no clue how much it weighs. I'll tell you, it's heavy, though. So we could do a volume calculation to figure out what the rough weight is. I would say it's probably, I don't know, it's probably like 8 pounds, maybe. I don't know. I think it's 10 pounds, more like it, maybe. Yeah, it's probably like 10 pounds. It's been a while since I lifted it. Let's just assume 10 pounds. And pretty sure it's 10 pounds. Okay. Unless you're like an expert at acrylic. Like, okay, I have a whole bunch of... I have 3 tons of acrylic. I'm probably expert at acrylic. If I say 10 pounds, probably close enough. I've lifted this box before. It's pretty heavy. It's not super heavy, but it's pretty hefty. So 10 pounds is roughly what I think it is. So I can ship it for $11.54. Okay. Sure. Okay. Let's publish this, right? We can publish it, we can edit it later. We can edit it later if we so decide. Yeah, it doesn't look great. I mean, we got this other product, right? We got this thing, and now we have more stuff, right? We got more stuff up here. That's important. So the next thing we want to do is we want to take this listing. This is a pretty verbose description, but I like it, right? So 36, right? We got a whole bunch of nice things here. Let's go back to our listings here. And view your listing. I want to view my listing. Yeah, that's what I want to do. So we're going to take this, this listing here, right? And... right, that's a nice listing. That's pretty badass, right? Like, I like that. Okay. So now let's go to Etsy, and then, I guess the next thing we want to focus on is figure out how much money we have left, and do we wanna work on that table? We've cut like most of the parts for that table. Like, what is the next thing we want to do, right? Because I think that if we design that table frame in a nice way, we can if we design the table frame in a nice way, we can use a welded frame rather than the crazy frame design that I'm working on right now. But yeah, let's go to www.pinterest.com. Let's go to Pinterest and hope that this is... okay. We're going to go to Pinterest and we're going to pin some more of our stuff up here, right? So we got this thing... I don't know how this works. DEKTEN crates, my saves. Let's do new board. DEKTEN. I'm going to create a board. It's going to be called DEKTEN Plexiglass. And I don't know what this is. I guess I'll hit done. Okay, so on this board, we're just gonna add the... I don't know where this is gonna go, so I'm gonna put this up here. Okay, so we're gonna add a... I guess it's a pin. Is that what they call it? I don't know. Pinterest. But yeah, we're just gonna add... okay, cool. So I can move this back down here. It's not opening up any folders that are bad. Okay, so we're going to go in here, and we're just going to add the different... we got 1, 2, right? All the things that... Oh, okay, I see how I named these. So 1, 2, 3, and then these numbers were the original... The numbers that you're seeing are the original numbers from the camera. So it was like... This was probably Sam 1003, and that's why I kept the 1003. But then I gave it my own number, which is number 1. So we're going to just throw these in here, right? So we're going to throw that in there. And then we're going to say heavy duty crate of laserable plexiglass for projects. Alt text. Then we'll add that destination link, right? So we'll take our listing, right? So I think that the tip of using Etsy to try to like get stuff is working. 36 sheets plus 36 sheets plus crate, right? So something like that. There's our listing. Okay, let's save that, right? Let's save that. And we have 7 more images, so let's just keep on keeping on here. And then once I'm done with this, I don't know. But yeah, just try to do what I can do. Right? Like, it took time to make this crate design, right? There's a lot of... Holy fuck, my bitrate sucks. I have to look at our finances. I don't know. We'll have to figure things out. We'll figure it out. Okay. So this right here, send, I guess. I have no clue how this is supposed to work. Let's add number 2 now. So number 2.png. The background is just so immaculate that I didn't really have to do much cleanup work. So let's open up number 2. I'm going to add alt text. It's going to be the same thing. Destination link. We're going to keep on stealing our destination link. Right? We got all these images, so let's kind of like keep on keeping on here. Okay, so save that. And that was image number 2. But yeah, my bitrate sucks. Like, what am I doing? Dropping 32% of my frames? Yeah. Send. I have no clue how this is supposed to work here. Okay. So I see, I think... Okay, so number 3, let's just do number 3, right? Let's just keep on. Hey, how's it going? So, yeah, so, I don't know, you probably cannot hear me very well as I'm talking, but I'm just talking because I figure, I want to kind of like, I want to self-document what I'm doing. Cabinet. Cabinet, is that how you spell cabinet? So, making little advertisements, right? So I made this holds like 36 sheets of acrylic. So, let's do that. Let's take our listing. So we're going to take our listing, we're going to paste it into the destination link. And then we're going to save this. So I think this was our third image, and we're just going to... I made a light box. Okay, so... Okay, cool. Let's go back. So we're still in DEKTEN plexiglass. Let's go add another thing. Yeah, so we're on the... that was the third image. So yeah, it was this one right here, I believe. So we're on the fourth image, if I remember correctly. So we want to take the PNG file. So we have the original image in the light box, and then we have the my god, it took all day to do this, right? To clean these photos up takes forever to go from here to here. Like, even though the light box gives you like a pretty clean background, yeah, it takes forever to clean this stuff up. Amazon wants photos like this. Amazon... Yeah, so Amazon, I bought, yeah, right now I don't work for anyone at the moment. No. Yeah. Yep. I don't work for anyone at the moment. And I have 3 tons of acrylic. I have 3 tons... 3 tons acrylic. Yeah, so I have like 3 tons of acrylic. So I have like all these materials here. I have the inventory to sell this stuff, but the thought is that if I offer my material, so it's like, okay, there's plenty of places you can get like acrylic sheet for like laser cutting stuff. There are plenty of places. So the thought is that how do I differentiate what I'm selling? And it's like, okay, well, one of the problems if you order a lot of stuff on Amazon is you run out of place to put it. Yeah. Um. Yeah, so it's more like I just need to make enough money to, so just make enough money to survive, and then just, you know, hate your job and then use that as motivation to work on this stuff more. Right? Like, yeah, with the fast food job, like, people ask me, like, how I'm doing, like, in the back room, and be like, how are you doing? My manager will ask me, like, how I'm doing. I'm like, I hate it. I hate being here. I'm here for money. Thank you for asking. Because I worked at, like, Five Guys for, like, a year. And supposedly my manager actually liked working there. I don't know what the fuck was wrong with him. But yeah, if I want to like get this like business idea off the ground, I need to be very careful to not get myself trapped. So, like, it's nice, like, the material I have was from working a programming job, so, like, I saved up, I lived very frugally, and I saved up the money for the material, but if I'm not, yeah, if you're not careful, right, you get stuck in a situation where it's like, oh god, my job offers me a lot of money, but I don't have any time, and so then you don't have time for your side project or whatever. That time money thing, right? Like, sometimes you have enough money, but you don't have enough time, and then other times you got enough time, but you don't got enough money, right? Like, finding that balance, it's a tricky game, you know? So add my title. Locking bar for secure transport. Okay. 36 sheets of laser cuttable acrylic in heavy duty container. Right. Container. For sale now. Yeah, web dev. Oh, really? Really? Like, as in, so like just like a tech hub? I'm not saying that you should do that stuff. I think that unless you have like some other lofty aspiration, I definitely stick with, you know, your programming career, right? Because, like, for me, it's like, I don't know, I work programming jobs, I make some money, and then I kind of like, I dip out, right? I am not a good employee. I'm like one of those people who, like, once I have enough money to do whatever I need to do, I'm like, see you later. I said only for coding jobs. Okay, got ya. So for coding jobs, all the coding jobs, are web dev. Got it. So there's no like game industry jobs. It's all like web coding. Got it. All coding. Yeah. Alright, what else do I have to do here? I'm just going to take this, and I don't know if the alt text actually matters for SEO, but I'm just going to throw that in there as well, because it can't hurt, right? More information, I think, is better than less information when it comes to, like, Google kind of, like, crawling websites or whatnot. Okay, so this is... Well, I know there's this locking bar here, so I just want to make sure I don't lose track of which images I'm uploading here. Yeah. Even Android apps are developed using JavaScript. Oh, well, I mean... yeah, like, yeah, I'm definitely, like, if I gotta choose, I actually write, like, a lot of JavaScript. I haven't written much JavaScript lately, but, I actually, the two languages that I really like are C programming and JavaScript, so I do JavaScript for, like, when I want to, like, get something up and running, like, really quickly, right? Do, like, little proofs of concepts, like, JavaScript all the way. And then when I want to make something kind of like that runs very efficiently, right, then I'm using C code. Also, you know, JavaScript makes file system access a nightmare, right, because there's security concerns with JavaScript. Well, actually, I guess that's kind of a blanket statement, right, because you don't have those security concerns when you're writing Node.js code, right? Because JavaScript is just a specification, right? Android is difficult because it is fragmented. There's hundreds of Android devices. Oh yeah, that's right. To support all of them is a nightmare. Yeah, right. Where like that is one good thing about the iPhone, right? Like iPhone. Yeah, like as a consumer, yeah, as a consumer, don't like iPhone, but as a programmer, I probably love it, right? Because you don't have to worry about it. It's not Java's fault, got ya. Guys, so you're saying a lot of the difficulty is just from, you know, you have all these different devices, slightly different screen sizes, you have to do functionality checks, like, hey, does this thing have an accelerometer in it, right? Or, or I don't know, or does this thing have any does this thing have a physical keyboard, right? Or does it have a physical volume button, right? There could be tons of things that may or may not like exist on the device, and so you'd probably have to do a lot of different queries as to what functionality exists, and then you have to slightly change your code depending on what kind of functionality there is, and I have no clue how you would do that. I guess maybe if you're lucky, you could try to create like profiles, right? So you test for what functionality you have, and then you figure out what profile to use based on that, like a functionality profile. But yeah, that could be kind of yeah, XML. Like, I don't know why they're all about XML, but yeah, I did notice that with Android Studio, where there's like XML like all over the place. Personally, I am all about JSON just because I like the terser syntax. XML, what XML has going for it though is redundancy, right? So like, if you lose a few characters in your XML, you can probably figure out where you lost those characters, and you can fix it. But with JSON, because it's terser and it's more compact, you lose the redundancy advantage. Anyways, let's go upload. So we had the little locking bar. I kind of lost track of this. Yeah, we did this locking bar thing. So I'm pretty sure that means I'm on to number 5. Pretty sure I'm on number 5. Let me make sure though. Let me go. Actually, let me just go to Pinterest and just check out my gallery here. And then I'll put you up over here again. It takes a lot of time to produce a good app. Oh yeah, I would assume. I mean, with anything to like that level of, when you're trying to like actually get some good polish going on, do anything of quality always takes time. Okay, so this is looking good. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I'm gonna go add the 5th image now. Okay, I just wanted to make sure I don't want to accidentally duplicate the images. So the 5th image is the one after the bar. So here's the bar, and here's the 5th image. Okay, 5th image. Okay. But yeah, so right now, earlier today I was trying to figure out some code for what I'm going to produce in the Etsy shop. And then I realized, after drawing out some diagrams, I realized that I wasn't even going to code it because it was just a bad idea. Yeah. Okay, add my title. The backside. The backside is backwards. So I thought it would be cool to make the crate where the back of the crate, the logo is a mirror image. So if you hold up the crate in the mirror and you're looking at the logo forwards, then when you see it in the mirror, you would also see the logo forwards. And I just thought that was amusing. Contains 36 sheets of plexiglass for laser cutting. Okay, alt text. Let's take it, let's paste it. Like I said, I don't know if that matters, but we're just going to keep on doing it. And save that. Okay, so that was the 5th image. So I need the 6th and the 7th, and I only got 7 images of this. Because it just takes so long to... I think on Amazon I think you have like 7 slots available to you, so I wanted to fill up all of these slots. And that's why. Judging by how long this is taking, I'm going to guess that you probably can't hear what I'm saying, because I'm going to guess my bit rate just sucks. Okay, DEKTEN plexiglass. See it now, sure. Alright, looking good. Okay, let's add the 6th image. So 6th image is over here. Okay. Heavy duty glue less construction. I have no clue if anyone's gonna read this. Okay, destination link, and then we have one more image we gotta put up here, and then we're good. And then I'm probably gonna get on out of here. Save this, yeah. So yeah, I'm also using the same logo that I use on Twitch for this thing. So I don't know. I'm interested to see if I do want to do a little bit of cross promotion, but I am kind of interested to see if I try to use this logo for both kind of brands, if you will. What thing's gonna take off first? Like where is it gonna get the most recognition? I don't know. I think that's interesting to be like, different people, depending on where they know me from, will think of my logo as something different. I don't know. It's just something that I find kind of amusing. I'm somebody who likes to experiment with things. So okay, let's put up the last one. I'm gonna put up the last one, and then I'm gonna get out of here. Okay. $36. Okay. That looks good, and I think that was that the last one? I think that was the last one. I think that if I look through my folders here, let's go look through my folders here. So that's like the front-facing one, and I think that is this one, I think. Yeah, it's this one, right? Yeah, because there's nothing. Yeah, so that is the last one. So we're done with that. So we'll just wait for that, and then we'll check it out. But yeah, so I heard on the internet. Yeah, I really should keep the listing like that. It's nice to... Now, how the heck am I do not know how to use Etsy. Let's go over here. Oh, nice. DEKTEN plexiglass. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, like it. And can we... can we edit this? This is the edit button. So, the description... Okay, save that. So I think that keeping the actual listing here in the description is nice, because clicking this to go to Etsy is kind of annoying, and some people might not like that. So, ooh, there's a lot of cool stuff here. Anyway, so we're gonna keep on. We're gonna refine that a little bit. We're going to just Alright. And then this one. Any pin. We just want to make sure that all of these have the... That's not what I wanted to do. Let's edit this. Okay, and I've lost track. Okay, so I think that looks good. I think that, if we look on Etsy, we got DEKTEN plexiglass, except I have 4 pins. What happened to the fact that I had more? What happened to them? I don't know. If I accidentally moved it home. Okay, I don't know what happened to... Obviously, I don't know how to use Etsy. Because this says 4 pins... 3 pins. I don't know if there's a limit to how many things are allowed to be in here. Because 4 and 3, right, is not... Yeah, whatever. I guess we're not going to worry about it too much. I mean, that's good enough. And... yeah, that's good enough. We've done our thing. So if we go to Etsy.com, right? Another thing I did is I made sure that when I put my shop name, I put DEKTEN in the product listings, because if I don't do that, then the stuff doesn't immediately show up here, right? So, yeah. So this right here, roughly $25. There's like only 9 sheets in here. There's 36 sheets in here, $75. So we're trying to make it kind of like, this is kind of a bulk deal. So hopefully I have some reasonable prices, and the more kind of stuff I put here, the more chances I'll get at getting a bite here. But anyways, for now, I don't think I'm going anywhere here. Oh, but also, oh, also, 100. Okay, anyways, yeah, I'm gonna get out of here. Good morning or night or whatever. Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna get out of here. I still don't know what I'm doing, but I am struggling. I am just trying to throw stuff together, and eventually I want to make like cool kind of tables like this, and I have some plans for how I'm going to do that. Like I want a nice kind of very professional tabletop for the table frame that I made. So I cut all the parts for the table frame, and I gotta just assemble them, but then I want to put a epoxy tabletop on. The easiest way to create an epoxy tabletop would just be to, see, I want to do something like this, right, where you have the nice geometric kind of thing in here. But what I'm noticing is, if you really want to make one of these kind of things here, you need some good, it would do well to use some type of high quality wood before you try to make a table out of this kind of stuff, you know, because if you're not using high quality wood, if I try to do this and make it out of plywood and epoxy, it's just going to be a waste of plywood and a waste of epoxy, right? There's a certain level of quality that I want to go for here. I'm gonna put that in my notes. Epoxy hexagon table. Hexagon epoxy table. I'm gonna put that in my notes because it's pretty good. And this is on Etsy. Yeah. Also, I'm gonna copy image address, and I'm gonna go to Imgur as well. And I'm gonna just put this in my notes. Okay, and we'll paste that image URL. And then another thing we could do is we could add our images to, let's go add these images to our Imgur as well. So while we're here, all these PNG files that are nice and cleaned up. We're just gonna throw it in there. And then after that's kind of loaded, we'll do like what do you call it? What the heck do you call it? What am I waiting for? This is taking forever. My bitrate sucks. Oh, is it like going back and forth depending on what image it's loading? I don't know. And now we wait. Now I play the waiting game. I guess while I'm here, while I'm waiting, I wonder if there's anybody else who's kind of like online who, well, actually, before I do that, let's take the logs from here. Copy. Okay, file new. I'm gonna make a note of this. I like to save chats before I close the chat window. You know, in case somebody tells me something that I think is important to remember. And so, video 176. 176. Okay. So that's still loading. Jeez, it's still loading. Anyways, I'm gonna go and see if anyone else is on Twitch that I know. In an hour, Don Ho will be on. He gets up at like 5:30. Maybe I shouldn't do that. My bitrate sucks. So if I try to like go on Twitch is gonna try to stream something to me, and then it's gonna throttle my bandwidth even worse. So okay, so we got this, and then can we add to album? Can we add a new album? Only albums that aren't currently shared to the gallery allow adding images. Okay. Oh, galleries, I think. We're gonna add a description, and the description will just be, let's go back over here, just take our listing, and people on Imgur will probably hate us for this. I'm gonna post it anyways and get downvoted. post publicly. I know it might annoy people, but what annoys people is not necessarily what is the... Just because it annoys people doesn't mean it's a bad business decision, unfortunately. Okay. Oh, Glowforge. Maybe I should have said Glowforge. Whatever. So let's go look at, laser cutter acrylic. Hey. Laser cutter acrylic gets me pretty near the top. So that's good. Oh, because it's free shipping? Yeah. Okay. So... But if I do acrylic sheet, because I put laser cutter, right? If I do acrylic sheet, I'm gonna guess that I'm just buried, right? Yeah. Yeah, so this is... So laser cutter, whatever, gets me that, but if I do this, then it's like, ooh, I'm buried. Okay. So... We're just gonna... keep on fighting, I guess, and hopefully we'll visit... Okay, yeah, we're out of here. We're done for now. We do have to eventually ship that one thing, even though the person probably moved by now, but oh well. So... Okay, yeah, I'm out of here. Later. Good night.